What is up, guys? It's Esteban on my channel, flexing my guns. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me here live. We're going to be looking at a fantastic not new, but somewhat under the radar as far as other reviewers on YouTube. I have no idea why that is. It's from the little celebrated house, although very, very celebrated in Europe, especially France, in Paris. That is the house of Brecourt, or Brecourt. And it is another tobacco-based scent, Subversive, or Subversif. This is the bottle, luxurious, like black onyx glass and cap. Simple, clean, elegant. I don't think that snaps. I think it's just a pressure fit. It'll hold for a while. Again, these have the cloth etiquettes or stickers, if you will. Last week or the week before that, we took a look at Contre Pouvoir, also tobacco-based. This is really great for the summer, by the way, year-round. Good morning, Rich. Thanks for joining me. And we are looking at Brecourt Subversif, or Subversive, for non-French speakers out there. Guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about this fantastic tobacco-based scent. A couple things to sort of point out. It's not exclusively by any means tobacco only. So don't think of this as like a tobacco vanille or like a Terry Mugler's Pure Havana. This is nothing remotely close to it. I like those two, right? Especially love... I've learned to sort of more or less love tobacco vanille. At first, I wasn't really that big a fan, but you know, your taste change and you grow with time. This again is nothing whatsoever like those two, so just put that out of your mind. This has nothing in common with those whatsoever. Very interesting, very complex and elegant. So let's talk about the notes firstly. Oh, by the way, before we get into the notes, you can get this bottle, guys, online for about, I want to say about $110, $115 US delivered to your door. Well, maybe $120 out of, I think, Italy or maybe other places in France. But I think I got this one out of Italy. They do a lot of, obviously, really good trade with France or France. And I think the short one, this is, I think, 100 mils, and it is an eau de parfum. It's got the batch number 216 Place Mendon. Okay, anyways. The short bottle is much more common here in the States, and that one alone retails for about $95 to $115, depending where you buy it. So I essentially got double my volume for basically free. Which is freaking awesome. A no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So look around, see where you want to get it if you do want to get it, and pull the trigger. You may obviously want to start with a decant or something like that, but I think this is blind buy worthy. But let's get into the notes again. This dropped back in 2016. Nose behind this is Émilie Bouge. Top notes are cassis, bergamot, and fig. Man, the fig in here it's really nice. It's a little bit subdued. We'll get into that in a second. Mids are vetiver, cinnamon, leather, and heliotrope. And finally, in the base, you're going to get patchouli, ambergris, or ambergris, if you can't say it like that. And finally, yes, tobacco. Now, this has a Fragrantica current score of 4.37, which I consider quite high. It's not earth-shatteringly high, but I like the fact that it does have 22 votes, so it really is skewing towards a 5 when you consider how many people have already voted on it. I mean, I've seen other scents that have a lot more votes than that, but still, out of 22 to be carrying a 4.37, pretty phenomenal. Now, before I get into my personal take on it, I wanted to read just a couple of wonderful online reviewers that have posted here on Fragrantica. I obviously take no ownership of these. These are on Fragrantica here at this particular page. If you want to go to Brecourt Subversive, And the first one is by a guy that goes by the name of, I don't know if it's Rogue or Roger or Roge, Rogi. I'm not sure. It's Roge. You be the judge of how to say that. And then the next one after that is by a person that goes by the name of Tiger Lillian. But respectively, I'm going to read these word for word, not going to cut anything out. And we'll start with Rogies or whatever, however you say that. So he says, now if Farah was a hit, Farah, I should point out, is another, I believe, slightly older scent that the House of Brecourt released. And I don't know, I don't remember if that has tobacco in it. I think it does, not sure. At any rate, he says, if Farah was a hit, then Subversive is a knockout. God bless the perfumer. There's a lot going on here. Plenty of notes are detectable. The patchouli is very distinguished and smells nice and bohemian to the core. More about the patchouli later. There's a dash of bergamot used here to tenderize the woody quality the same way you would tenderize a steak. The cinnamon has an inconsistent presence until the fig shows up. What was believed to be a wonder of a note is actually committed to the warm, milky fig. A Mexican horchata is seemingly born. You will quickly learn of the Janus-faced nature of this fragrance. You can think Gemini if you don't understand what Janus means. Sort of dual nature, double-faced to an extent. This is a spooky perfume. It has that malevolent green grave robber feel to it. The leather adds to the threatening nature. To make matters weirder, the cowhide note actually smells like the rubber sole of a shoe. That aroma lives as the base for some of the middle part. The heliotrope, cassis, and tobacco are used like Botox fillers, ridding the composition of the blemishes. The patchouli note wears many hats while never fumbling. Lead performer, host, and closer. The bushy herb arrives with the "hey, look at me" character. Then it sort of plays the background, but later resurfaces to let you know that it's the King Joffer of Subversive. Welp, there you have it. Another fragrance that you can officially add to your want list. No doubt you will smile from mandible to mandible, blind buy worthy, in all caps. Okay, that's that one. And then to round this out, Tiger Lillian. Here we go. On first spray, Subversive reminds me of Terry Mugler. Angel, strong patchouli with some rich green notes, lots and lots of texture. I was never a fan. What I like so much better in this fragrance is that it is so much cleaner, structured without the need for overly sweet, crowd-pleasing chewiness. There is room to breathe while still commanding respect for its strong character. Subversive is raw yet refined, bitter in its greenness, with bright bergamot at the top. The green bergamot note knits seamlessly with the cassis black currant leaf, transitioning from luminous citrus to deep verdance, carrying the patchouli all the way. Vetiver is present but not dominant, rooty and earthy, and giving body to the dry cinnamon. Tobacco is an accent that offers richness and depth without smoke, just a lovely sensual smolder. Fig and ambergris are coupled together in this composition, very smooth, a little animalic, and weaving all the well-chosen notes together without adding too much weight. Only more depth and a little natural sweetness, occasionally sauntering into a live coconut grove. Heliotrope lends opulence without being deliberately floral, just an opalescent sparkle now and then, which complements the subtle, smooth, fresh leather texture. Subversive is so multifaceted, very unique, and holds my interest all the way through its evolution for the duration that this remains on my skin, which, by the way, bears great longevity and sillage. I would say this leans slightly toward the masculine side of unisex with its bitter, dark green heart, but it's also one that I can easily wear for its beautiful subversive rebellion. Subversive is a big love for me and goes to the top of my want list. Well, if you can't tell by now, guys, those two awesome reviewers, which I highly recommend you go ahead and get on to Fragrantica and check out their, not only the reviews of Subversive, but I encourage you to go ahead and click through and find other fantastic scents that these guys have reviewed. They write better than I could ever talk, basically. So If that gives you a very, hopefully, a very accurate idea of this scent, then their job is well done, and mine is made a heck of a lot easier, because I would really, really tend to agree with just about everything they said there. Oh yeah, Janus, Janus. Yeah, that's true, Rich. But unfortunately, here in the States, we say Janus like the retards that we are. Okay, kind of kidding. There are some fairly intelligent Americans. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, but anyways, guys, seriously, I would agree with everything they just said, but I would add a couple of interesting points. There's a strange, and you can take this however you want, but there is a strange human skin scent in this scent, which smells like clean, slightly oily, ever so slightly feminine, ever so slightly musky human skin. That may sound, I don't know, scary, like a horror flick. It's definitely here. It's quite exotic and sensual. But I mean, it's just one little component of this incredible concoction. Other things that are clearly in here are the vetiver, the bergamot at the front, which dies down, unfortunately, a little bit all too quickly. I was hoping the bergamot would have hung around a lot longer. I really, really love the way it opens on skin. However, it transitions to a strangely, almost like a coconut milk, a green musk vibe, where tobacco is present, but sort of in the background. A lot of these other elements are obviously present also in the background of the cassis. A couple of other facets. It's just an incredibly unique, sensual scent that is somewhat of a chameleon. It really tends to morph and change its character almost on a 30-minute or to an hourly basis. It's very exotic, very, very hard to pin down. It's very rare that I don't think I have a clear handle on the structure of a perfume. But this one is just, yeah, it's fantastic, but it's also incredibly mysterious. I mean, I think if there's one word that would sum this up, it's mysterious. It's really good. It's sensuous. It's all of the above. It's got the tobacco. It's got the musk. It's got the cinnamon, the leather, which has a nice little animalic component along with some other things going on here. But it's just very mysterious. It smells like what a really rich, slightly off-kilter person would wear as their like go-to scent of the night. It's really good. It's classy, but it's also a little bit off the beaten normal path of normalcy, and it's quite mysterious. So that's going to do it for this really, really incredible scent. I will add one other thing, guys. I didn't like it upon first sniff. I was almost about to give it away or sell it or all of the above. By decanting some of it out. But I'm glad I let it sit for a while. I went back to it after about a month and was really, really impressed. It just really, really surprised me when I went back to it. So I encourage you, if you get this and aren't blown away on first sniff, give it a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and come back to it and see if you aren't absolutely smitten. It may work its magic on you slowly like it did on me. I think it took me maybe 2 revisits to become a true believer, but trust me, if you give it enough time, I think this is really, really going to grow on you, and you'll be very, very mightily impressed with the quality, with the chameleon-like mysterious nature, the slightly smoky, that tobacco, the vetiver, it's just a lovely, lovely concoction. Hats off to the perfumer. Again, if you're interested in checking her other concoctions out, this was Emilie Bouge, and she's for the House of Brecourt, like agar essence. If you like oud, which really is agar, I highly recommend you guys check out agar essence, Avenue Montaigne. which is a female, if you believe in such things, a female only, which really sounds like a lot of fun. I'll tell you what that has in it briefly. It has grapefruit, raspberry, dewberry, and freesia. In the heart, you get rose, jasmine, tuberose, gardenia, and water lily, and finally in the base, patchouli, peach, and musk. So if you like your fruity florals, that could knock you out of the ballpark. I realize that's a typical female concoction, but let's face it, there's some guys out there that are really doing some untraditional things. She's done Eau Libre, also a typical, well, it's a male scent, but again, probably closer to unisex. And that's kind of thing. That one's going to give you bergamot, grapefruit, pink pepper, actual, and rosemary. Then in the heart, mint, geranium, jasmine, water or watery accords. And finally, the base, we're going to get delicious sandalwood, musk, and ambroxan. So that could really be a lot of fun if you're looking something kind of like some of the amouage and creeds, some of that stuff. This is really in the same overall sector, if you will, or niche category. She's done Esprit Mondain, male, very, very cool. This is going to give you lemon, galbanum, black pepper, lavender, tarragon, Cabernet Sauvignon wine, and elemi, cedar finally, and ambroxan, myrrh, and musk. That really, really sounds quite phenomenal. And again, guys, one thing I want to stress about the House of Brecourt, they're incredibly affordable for what I would consider absolutely top tier fragrances that would absolutely hold their own with any fragrance from any price sector on planet Earth. I don't care if you drop 1,000, freaking quid on a bottle. If you're going to go out and spend 1,000 pounds, British pounds sterling on a bottle, I promise you, these might not beat it, but they'd hold their own. They'd absolutely freaking hold their own. I cannot speak highly enough of this house. Get your noses on anything from the House of Brecourt, or Brecourt, if you want to say it more like the French. For example, I'll just finish off here briefly with Mauvais Garçon, male, if you believe in such things. It's got, for example, bergamot, cinnamon, basil, elemi, and nutmeg. Are you freaking kidding me? Come winter, guys, this could be an absolute knockout. In the heart, lavender, artemisia, white flowers. And finally, the base, you're going to get sandalwood, cedar, patchouli, tonka, and vanilla. Sign me up. That sounds absolutely interstellar galactic. And then she has some really fancy upper, like even for Brecourt, they have a higher tier, which are a little more pricey, well worth it in my opinion. And they come in fancier bottles with really beautiful spherical, solid gold or brass ball caps, if you will. Osmanthus Guillain, Rosa Gallica, and Poivre Bengal. These are mostly unisex, with the exception of Osmanthus Guillain, which is female. But for example, if you were to get the Poivre Bengal, oh, wow. So this is scoring at currently 4.46. And if you get it dropped in 2014, so once again, Emily Bouge, or Bouget, however you say that. Top notes are pepper and ginger. Mids are cloves, nutmeg, and sandalwood. And in the base, leather, cashmere wood, and ambergris. That has to be absolutely staggeringly good, in my opinion. Never tried it, but if going by her resume, that's got to be absolutely phenomenal. Well, guys, that's it. I hope I've piqued your interest in the House of Brecourt. And again, if you like tobacco, please, for the love of God, check out Subversive by France Brecourt. Maison Brecourt. Okay. That is going to do it, guys. Get your nose all over this. And again, that can be worn year-round, but it's probably a lot more apropos appropriate rather in winter and fall, quite frankly. But you could do this year round. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here on my live cast. If you didn't make it, catch me on the rewind. If you like, please subscribe. Click the bell for future updates. And I want to thank my guests, including Rich Mitch, for joining in. And we'll see you next time, guys. Spray often, spray well, live life on your terms. Love you guys. Peace.